How's it going, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm finally here with my chapter 26 review of Kaiju number 8, even though this is how many days late now? Like 2, 3, 4, 20? I don't know. Um, I do apologize for that, even though I know it's it's not like it's a huge channel or anything. I still feel like this should be out sooner than this. Um, I am going to say this on camera now just for myself. This ain't happening no more. Maybe a day late sometimes. Preferably not even that. But no more of this 2-day, 3-day stuff. All right, into it. Anyway, this was a great chapter. This was awesome. This might have been my favorite chapter to read through, even though I feel like that's probably going to change on the next one. And I apologize for my cat in the background. Hopefully I get that audio out of there. If you want, I'm just going to leave him in. He's been doing this every time I try to record. So, anyway, first things first. Mini Mina is still Mini, but not really so mini. This girl is dope. So, we learned that normally you only get a special weapon if you're a captain. So, normally it would just be captain, vice captain. She's getting one to be a third major force on the base because we've had too many high-level kaiju coming around lately. And especially with Mina having to go to headquarters, this is very important that you have somebody else that can take up the mantle of just taking out kaiju. Because that's literally what they tell her. Like, you are a third major force on the base. Your job is to exterminate kaiju. That is her job. So, yeah, exterminate kaiju she does. And Jesus Christ, she does it very, very well. I made a joke about just deathballing her through a bunch of kaiju this chapter. They don't really need to do that. You don't really need a deathball. Just she is a deathball by herself. Or maybe with a little bit of backup, which we'll get into. God, that was great. So first things first, I love the little panel where you get her posing with the axe because she like grips her hand, but she does it so quickly that you have speed lines for all 5 of her fingers closing. I don't think I've ever seen that done in a manga, I think, as far as I'm aware and can remember, but that was actually really cool. I don't know why, but I got stuck on that panel looking at that for a second. But then we get into the good stuff. The meat and potatoes of what Shinomaya does this chapter. And that is wreck shit. So, starting off with number 1, she gets one of the huge kaiju fireballs blasted at her, jumps straight over the kaiju's head, uses squadron axe style technique number 1. I think I got that right? Falling Thunder. And this is where we learn the first usage of her axe, because it's not just a big axe. It emits shockwaves. The first usage being a shockwave that is emitted behind it mid-swing to give it faster acceleration, and obviously that would be more power. Faster something hits, harder it hits. Pretty simple physics there. So that was dope. She just caved straight through the back of this kaiju, which really, I mean, we've seen her blast through the front of these things, and we know that's stronger than the back, so still really cool, but we know she can do a little bit more. And that's where we get technique number 2, water skimmer. This also uses the second shockwave emission technique of the axe, and that is upon impact using a shockwave in front of it to just blow through whatever the hell you're hitting. Or as Hoshina says in the kind of flashback bubble, added evisceration. And that is a very good way to describe this because she literally just annihilates the front of this thing. Exactly like we saw her do last time. So I'm gonna guess water skimmer was what she used last time. Obviously we didn't get the name of it. She kind of just jumped in and bam. But yeah, she just cleaves straight through the front of this thing. And when she first came out, she said, this thing packs a good punch, but it don't really fit me. I gotta nitpick it on that. It's not me. And after these first 2 hits, obviously, Furuhashi is I was close on that. I don't know if I was perfect on it. I'm gonna have to look it up again. Anyway, he's just sitting there like, holy shit, what the hell is going on here? And Reno looks at her, he's like, doesn't fit you? I'm gonna have to disagree on that one. It's kind of perfect. And yeah, I'm with Reno. This is the perfect weapon for Shinomaya. I mean, do you remember her entrance? She literally just picks up a van, like, nope, MySpace, and just throws it. Giant screw off axe. Yeah, that's perfect. That is right up her alley. But Our third kaiju, or I should say our third showcase for Shinomaya, actually takes her off guard a little bit and comes from above, but that's when we got Reno stepping up to show that, I ain't getting left behind that easy. I don't have no special weapon, but I'm not out of this. I got this. Hits it with freeze rounds, surprises the hell out of Shinomaya. She did not expect him to be able to keep up with this high level of kaiju like this. And he actually, after freezing one of the wings, the kaiju crashes, he freezes a second one. So this thing is completely just stuck. I mean, it could shoot a fireball, but guess what? Shinomaya's a little bit too quick for that. That's where we get our third and final technique that we learn of this chapter, and this one is called Half Moon. Now, I'm going to say this is a acceleration technique and not a frontal impact technique, because when she does it, she hits the back of the kaiju's neck, and it only like caves in and goes through like the back half, still probably killing it. Well, definitely killing it. But I feel like if this was a frontal impact technique, then it would have gone straight through the kaiju. I feel like it would have been decapitated easy. So, gonna go with that on that one. Half Moon was also kind of a weird technique for me to kind of figure out exactly what happened, because she was on the other side of the kaiju. You see the axe swing is just a half moon, which I'm assuming it was also an acceleration technique, because I assume it was a normal overhead axe swing, and when it got to its apex, that's when the shockwave went back, threw it down, threw her body weight over it, and then she turned around mid-air, landed, and slid backward. Granted, that is very hard to convey on a page, but yeah, it took me like a minute of kind of just looking at it, like, what exactly is going on here? So I believe it is acceleration. I believe it's just a normal axe swing, apex, accelerate it forward. I will also say that I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm betting the acceleration techniques cannot cut through the front of one of these things, because both times on Falling Thunder and Half Moon, we saw her hit the kaiju either in the back or the back of the neck. And both times we didn't see the axe go all the way through the kaiju out the front. That leads me to believe that those do not have the power to get through the front of the kaiju. Granted, that's perfectly fine, because all she has to do is use water skimmer or another frontal impact technique and problem solved. But just as a little dichotomy, I do think they are actually showing a difference between, okay, this is acceleration, it doesn't have as much actual impact power. This is specifically used for high impact. So I like that kind of dichotomy in her moveset, is that they both techniques need to be used for different reasons. They aren't really interchangeable in that aspect. So I like that. I think the axe is a lot of fun. And that's kind of where we get to the point where we're pretty much done with them. Shinomaya does tell Reno that she'll allow him to back her up if he can keep up, that is. And obviously Reno's fine with that. He says, I'm in, I'm game. You know I'm not falling behind. Let's get this. So then that was the meat and potatoes for Shinomaya. Now we get the meat and potatoes of next week's chapter. I hope. I really hope that next week is finally our Hoshina chapter. And by the time we get to the end of this, I think it'd be pretty safe to say that it is. But before I get ahead of myself, let's just start it off nice and slow. I don't know if we've even gotten this guy's name or his rank, but he seems to be like the third in charge of the base. Like, he's behind Hoshina, I'm guessing. Giving out orders saying, okay, yes, Shinomaya and Reno will split up the kaiju, and that will allow everybody else to go with the main plan, or the original plan, and shoot him in the back. Perfect, we got it. And you actually see Hoshina, even though he's kind of cut up a little bit, not super damaged, he's still got the wherewithal to pay attention to what's going on with them. He has a little smirk because he says Shinomaya's doing good. So that tells us that he's not all out right now. And we can definitely tell later. All right. But he does not have time to really pay attention to this. He even says so himself, that the main threat is this guy, which we all obviously knew. And we kind of get more of how this fight kind of started. The big guy slams down on a truck that Hoshina's standing on. Hoshina jumps away. We do see him get a little bit of a fresh cut on his face, so he's not fully able to dodge this stuff at his current power level. Obviously, he can stay away from the large hits for the most part, but he's still getting nicked and cut up here and there, so he's going to have to kick it into high gear, otherwise this will start to look a little bit ugly. But he does tell us, well, us, Okanogi, which I believe this is the first time we've gotten the name of that science girl that they're always talking to. It's Okanogi. I don't think we've gotten that yet. So he tells her to open up gate 3, I believe it was. Door 3, whatever one of those are. Well, sorry, I'm skipping over something. Once again, this kaiju just starts throwing hands. And I love the way the author, artist, they're the same thing in this. It's manga, not comic books. I love the way the author depicts all these punches going out, because it's all the same panel, and you have like 3 images of this guy, and it's just after images of all these punches coming out so damn quick. And he's just so huge compared to Hoshina. It's absolutely terrifying. And then when you see like shockwaves from these things just slamming into a train car behind Hoshina, leaving huge dents, not even from the fist itself. This guy's serious, and Hoshina's telling us about this. Like, he's not just strong. He loves to fight. He knows how to fight. And this is where he tells Okanogi, you need to open up gate 3, jumps through it. Well, this kaiju's kind of a dick and just busts down the door anyway. Like, it's half open, and he just slams the door. Hoshina takes a little bit of exception to that, and actually gets caught off guard because of it just a little bit, as this kaiju flanks to his, I believe, left it was on the panel, and jumps off the wall and slams into Hoshina, and I mean hard. This was a little scary at first. I didn't expect anything too terrible because, I mean, he had the swords out front. He did block it. I know either last chapter or the chapter before he said if I take one of these full force, well, I believe that he meant full force without blocking. Obviously, because this kaiju gets a little cocky. Like, he's like, man, you should be proud of yourself. Not a lot of people, even kaijus included, can scrap with me. And he lets out this big haymaker. One problem. His arm falls off. Hang on. All right. I need to sit up for this. His arm falls off. And we all know exactly why this thing is sitting on the ground right now. Because my guy, numero uno in my books, top tippity shelf of the Kaiju number 8 catalog, Hoshina, Vice Captain, is done. He ain't playing no more. 92% combat unleashed. Maximum unleashed power. Alrighty. It's time to neutralize. Oh my god. This was my most hyped couple panels in this entire manga so far. Seeing that haymaker just land like that and throw Hoshina back hurt my soul. Like I said, he blocked it, so I wasn't that worried, but it hurt my soul. And then you don't even get like a panel of like a cut forming and then it falling. It's just not there. I almost flipped this chair backward. This is a heavy chair. This is a Secret Labs. They're not cheap. They're well put together. It's heavy. I almost threw this thing over. It was so great. I can't wait. This got me so hyped for next week. It's just so good. Literally, arm just falls off. I went back and looked through these panels to try and see if the author like slipped like some lines in there to show that there was a cut. I'm gonna go back again and look again because I was so hyped. I was not doing great detective work. I was kind of just looking at stuff. I don't think there were any. I think this was well hidden. And it caught me off guard in the best way possible. And honestly, this is probably my favorite end to a chapter so far because it's Hoshina. I'm telling you right now, I was just saying it before I got into this. Tippity top. That's my guy. 100%. Love him. Can't get enough of them. And like you said, next time, baby, it's time to neutralize. I can't wait. But yeah, no, Shino Maya, she's getting up there. I honestly am having a lot of fun with her character. The axe is perfect. It's enjoyable to me, especially because we have Mina that seems to specialize in these super powerful guns. I mean, just blowing stuff away. And then you have Hoshina with the blades, the swords, the tiny stuff. Quick, powerful, slicing through shit, everything. We got it. Kaiju arm gone, done, nothing. Was he at 92% before he cut the arm off? Like, did he unleash 92% like right before the hit came in and then whoop, block? Or did he unleash 92% after that? I'm gonna say 92% was necessary to lop that arm off that quick. I'm gonna say he unleashed it, cut it off, blocked real quick. Even though I would love to say the other way. I would love to say it was afterwards. I don't think I can. But then you get Shino Maya, who, while also has a melee weapon like Hoshina, it is not anywhere near the same. Like, it is Mina's version of a melee weapon, basically. Mina just blows shit away. How do I turn that into a melee weapon? Giant axe that emits huge-ass shockwaves. Perfect. And for Shino Maya's brash-ass personality, I absolutely love it. How do I always... I almost made it through this video without hitting nothing. That's what I get for being like 3 days late. I'm going to get through almost the entire video, then hit something. But anyway, that's going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoy. I really can't wait for next time. It's going to be so much fun. I do hope we get more of Reno and Shino Maya just a little bit. I hope we get the whole group next time, maybe at the end of the chapter. Maybe start the chapter off with Hoshina and Kaiju number 10. Give us a good showcase of them. Maybe like the first, I don't know, 14 panels or so, 12 panels or so, something like that. Then finish the chapter off with getting back to the whole group, because we have a lot of people fighting these kaiju. I mean, there's every single one of our rookies, Shino Maya now with the axe, and Reno backing her up. Kafka's got to get in here somewhere. So we got a lot of stuff still to get to, and I cannot wait for more. But yeah, next week, Hoshina, Kaiju number 10, gotta get it. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too, but I'm going to let you guys get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.